God, I'm so stupid! Stupid! It's not number 55 on the 22nd floor. It's number 22 on it's number 25. It's number 55 on the 2nd floor. Jesus! What's wrong with me, huh? You think I got dyslexia? Oh, God! Or you think I'm just stupid? Man, I'm probably just stupid. That's what my mom would say, just stupid. You think I should get tested? Maybe I should get tested. Is there a test for dyslexia? Whoa, dude, you got a gun! How cool is that? Whoa. Ah!
Get ready.
Yes, I can tell. You need a new suit.
Freaky move. I heard about him.
What the? Target is in disguise. Repeat, target is in disguise. Target! Changing disguises! Trust the... Get away! I got one target down. Took one. Command, we are not in the clear just yet.
Oh, let me see. Nope, nothing here.
Go with God, motherfucker.
Fucking parasites. They sell lives of these women. They sell their fucking...
You need a icebreaker.
Action.
I guess, in a way, I should apologise. A lot of you are probably thinking, that's exactly what I was worried about after watching that, and a smaller percentage are probably thinking, and are probably going to comment, Derp, you're just playing it wrong. Well, let me explain something. Hitman Absolution isn't what IO Interactive advertised. At least, it isn't what they said it was, all violent nunnery aside. Hitman Absolution is a good third-person action shooter, or a fairly competent, albeit slightly janky stealth game. Pick one. Don't get me wrong, I look forward to change. When a franchise switches developer or publisher and the team shuffles its manpower and writers and programmers move on to different projects, it's unreasonable to expect a developer to recreate your memories of games you played years ago. This logic, whilst liberal and fair, excuses a different game, but it doesn't excuse a bad game, and nothing can excuse the marketing IO enjoyed when employing double standards to its quite decidedly action-oriented installment in the Hitman franchise. So let's talk difficulty, and with that comes options. IO described Purist Mode as a mode for hardcore Hitman fans, a way to have traditional Hitman experience in their game. What they didn't tell you, however, is that Purist Mode is for hardcore fans of their game. And here's why. Purist Mode doesn't magically transform Absolution into Hitman's Gone By. It merely removes a lot of the visual aids and forces you to rely on your map memory and memory of the objectives and locations of them. Wait, what? Memory? But I haven't played this game before. Tough. That's what Purist Mode is. No HUD, no guides, no interface, nothing. Why isn't Purist Mode a magical transformation into the Hitman games of yonder? Because those games didn't have medipacks, guns and explosives thrown all over the place, and those games revolved around the player's ability to seek out and use disguises. This, however, is a stealth game, should you want to try and play it like an original Hitman game. Now wait. Before you want to rage at me for saying that, go check out some of the reviews, particularly from PC Gamer and players like that. They've all said the same thing. And whilst, yes, you can see disguises in the footage I've shown you so far, there's one huge problem with them. The tutorial points out that disguises are of varying use. Once in a disguise, anyone who shares that outfit or that job will be able to see through your disguise after a very short period of time. To walk past people because of this, you need to hit the Instinct key, which is a rechargeable power that allows Agent 47 to apply his sneaky prowess and walks past undetected. In the tutorial, as a gardener, this worked really well. The trouble is, after that, in the sections that aren't the classic hit sections as seen in prior games, and there's only about 3 of those in the entire game, disguises are totally and utterly useless. Enemies will see through them almost instantly, and although you can use Instinct to buy yourself about half a second, it runs out very, very quickly. Because of this, Hitman Absolution rapidly becomes a game about stealth.
On it! Come on!
In that vein, Hitman Absolution is a stealth game. It's not about disguises, and it's not about taking out hits. What you'll be doing is escaping from, or hiding from, the enemies, trying to get through room after room, taking out people along the way. That's what this game is. Let the feel of betrayal flow through you. Yep, there are around 3 or 4 areas which are dedicated to comparatively open hits, but these involve walking through a crowd, locating the target, and waiting every time for him to go down an alley only to use one of the triggers such as a fireworks display, petrol pump, or simply a Garrett. If there's a cool way to kill someone, IO will certainly let me know by putting one of the environmental triggers right in front of your face. There's no thought involved, but in these segments, disguises do play a larger role. It seems that IO pick and choose when disguises are transparent or useful because of the way they've set themselves up for a mechanical fall. But when these hit missions really only comprise of about less than a quarter of the game, the mere reference material won't be enough to keep Hitman fans happy, and certainly not to apologise for the rest of the game.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
After a lengthy schlep through a hotel, Agent 47 is chased by the police. It's not enough to simply grab a costume and carefully but not invisibly make your way out of their line of sight. Oh no! The next few segments, which come to about maybe 20% of the entire game, comprises of Agent 47 dressed as a policeman shuffling to and fro cover using the exact same detection cover system as Splinter Cell Conviction. If you made it through the library without being seen, you'll know that doing things by the book takes many restarts from the sparsely located checkpoints. It doesn't matter that you're in disguise. If they see you for more than 2 seconds, you have to either feign capture and take a human shield for a long and arduous shootout, or lead the detector into a secluded room and take him out. Usually, they're in pairs. Just to make things perfectly clear, at around 20% of the game at this point, 18% of it's stealth, unable to be seen a single time. Well, unless you want to play the game it feels they intended you to play. But I'll come to that later. I hope by now you understand that this game is a story-driven, much more linear scripted experience. It's not about giving the player a choice when it comes to infiltration, taking the hit and getting out, although there are superficial elements of that near the start. It's about getting from A to B completely unseen and possibly taking out selected targets along the way. This isn't blood money. In fact, it's more like Splinter Cell than Splinter Cell Conviction was. A game that whilst was different, I really enjoyed. And I can say the same thing apprehensively about Hitman Absolution.
Come on, man!
Yeah, I know something else is getting out. I'm stuck with these trains and I can't do that. Okay, but I need you to...
No, I can't leave. They got it locked down. I can't even get off the last floor.
Hello?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm still at the train station.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know. Something.
In fact, in many ways, this is so like Splinter Cell Conviction that the only key difference is that in Hitman Absolution, IO have targeted certain NPCs in certain situations that have to be killed. That's about it. It's not all doom and gloom though, because I eventually realised that I was doing it wrong the entire time. Hitman is a stealth action shooter, and it's okay to mess up. Ignore purist mode and everything you've learned from Hitman games, and ignore the fact you've deducted points for killing people or being spotted, because you know what? I got a whole lot more points per map for butchering everyone than I did for staying silent and not being seen. 4 guys in a room? No problem. Use instinct, mark the targets and use the auto kill feature that, again, is right out of Splinter Cell Conviction. Guy saw you murder someone? Who cares? Kill him too. There's bins and wardrobes and health packs spread all over the maps for a reason. Hitman Absolution is designed for you to kill. And once I understood that, instead of punishing myself with 50 restarts per room because of the sluggish and janky stealth controls, I had a lot more fun.
Be advised, we have a shooter on the perimeter.
Absolution has fantastic shooting mechanics and great ragdolls. The guns sound great, and killing with silenced or otherwise weapons, which are laughably laid around the map, feels fantastic. In the library? No worries, there's a shotgun on a cupboard illuminated by a desk lamp. Trapped in a hall? No worries, dress up like a samurai and take a katana to them. I actually did that. Out of ammo? Get an axe. Stab, cut, garrote an enemy and take their gun. Guns are supposed to be used in Absolution, and the sooner you come to realise that, the sooner you'll enjoy it for what it is. A generic ham-fisted stealth action shooter which is so damn similar to Splinter Cell Conviction that I'd imagine mentioning the game in the IO offices is a fireable offence. Stealth sequence montage.
Woohoo! Woo!
Shh! Don't tell anyone.
Hey, they fucking parasites. They sell lives of these women.
Dispatch, I have a lead on the perp. Investigating with caution.
I'm just the wind. The story is absolutely terrible, and the writing feels like it was written by a European college student trying to appeal to the American demographic, but there's some charm to what they were trying to do. Although Agent 47 imposes himself on you as if to say, I'm too well known to actually have any character whatsoever, he's still a great lead protagonist in this more action-oriented adventure, but the muddy, small and messy story featuring some incredibly mediocre and cliché antagonists still has me scratching my head. If IO were gonna go for a more linear, streamlined and story-driven game, why is the story so bad? What exposition there is in the menu system accessible in missions by pressing F1. But for all the hits you're all looking forward to doing, they're done on the cheap as a favour to some dude with a penchant for poultry who later turns out to be about as trustworthy as any idiot would have said he was. Absolution certainly has a sense of humour and a lot of charm, but none of that helps the gameplay. The thing is, it took me about half the game to realise I was playing it wrong. Having to repeat rooms upwards of 50 times just to get through them without hating myself was growing tedious, and it was all because of a reliance on stealth with sluggish controls, in a game that was never marketed as a stealth game. It's a bit like buying a flight sim and getting a bowling game. That's not what I signed up for, and that's the genius of marketing. Playing on professional hard difficulty, the first difficulty of the purported classical Hitman style difficulty, I found out that one of the ways they made the game harder was to simply put more meat in the room and give the enemy more of a reaction time. All of these changes are set to alter the way in which stealth works, but I didn't even realise this was a stealth game. So much for the Hitman indeed, and it was during the hospital sequence where I had to get through rooms of people and collect 4 fuses to make my escape that I realised, you know what? Fuck this. It doesn't feel good when you finally complete everything perfectly, since remembering AI movement patterns from retrying isn't an acquired skill. Even a fucking duck can remember shit. If there's no substantial stealth reward at the end of the day, like there is in Tenchu Z or Splinter Cell, then why bother? Why not use all the tools they provided you with? And I realise that that is a big if, and if you enjoy playing the game completely stealthy, that's absolutely fine. I just don't think anyone can objectively argue that that's how they designed the game to be played. Otherwise, why would there be guns laden all over the place? Why would health be so high even on the harder modes? And why would there be health packs? Why would there be explosions? Why would you have pocket shotguns? Why would you have more stabbing devices than a carpenter's tool belt? And why would you have the mark target and execute scripted events? It's true that those of you perhaps only 20% of the way through won't necessarily feel that I've accurately represented the gameplay, and those of you who have convinced yourself to play things stealthily might feel the same. But neither of you can say that this game resembles the originals, and even Blood Money, and it certainly doesn't represent the product I, and many other people, thought they were paying for. Because of this, my enjoyment was hampered, because the tutorial set me up for a style of gameplay that wasn't to follow. But in fairness, when I worked out the intended style of gameplay and disconnected the pomp and pretense of the marketing, I had a blast. Sure, I took the piss a bit at the start of the video, but really it was an allegory for how you'll feel once you get to the end of the game. There are some segments that have Agent 47 infiltrating secret testing facilities acting like James fucking Bond, and others which have him brawling in a cowboy bar or fighting like a Mexican wrestler. I didn't take the piss with the Hitman series really, IO did. Hitman Absolution isn't what you thought it was, and that's not your fault, that's IO's fault. They've made a game they hope to push for maximum sales, and although I say this a lot at the moment, it's yet another amalgamation which, at face value, tries to please everyone, but ends up pleasing no one. With Contract's multiplayer features adding some replayability, since other players can set target NPCs on any mission, there's a reason enough to give it a look. But if you don't want a stealth action third-person shooter that completely betrays the original games, then you probably should avoid it. For the few of you able to take it at face value, with the patience to fight with the mechanics for quite some time into the game, reference material, you might enjoy it. There's a lot to look at. It's a shame you'll be doing it crouching behind a counter, rolling around like Sam Fisher. It's crass for the sake of crass, lewd for the sake of lewd, and it doesn't really have a demographic. But perhaps that makes it unique. I'm going to end this on a high note. Absolution is at times a beautiful game. IO are known for their attention to detail in the environment. Shanghai was breathtaking in Kane and Lynch 2, and this is no exception. The environments are richly decorated, perhaps more so than I've ever seen in any game before, and they can be fairly varied. The gun store and jail or courtroom in particular showcase a meticulous attention to detail. There are some seriously talented artists and designers out there, but Absolution is completely and utterly style over substance.